You've been able to get a pretty extended run at this point at the number 9. What does that do for for your game, just in general, to just know every week that that's probably where you're playing?
Yeah, I think it helps me a lot in terms of just being able to focus on certain things in training and know that what my role is kind of going to be in the game. I think, obviously, I'm a team first guy, but there were times in the season where I was bouncing from the left to maybe up top one game, then out right one game, or in the middle game switching around, which if that's what the team needs, I'll do it, of course. But it's nice to be able to really kind of hone in on one position, a position that I feel like is probably my best position on the field, and just be able to work on things in training that are going to translate to the game and just really know my role going into a game. So I think it's just able to provide consistency. I'm obviously, really happy up there, but have to keep performing, keep doing well, and keep getting better.
How do you think your game has sort of sharpened during this run?
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of my, goals over the last couple of years, I was thinking back on it, have been inside the box, one-touch finishes, things like that. So I think in terms of that, I've been able to focus a lot on that part of the game because obviously playing as a forward, that's massively important. And then I think the pressing side of the game has gotten better. The whole group is doing really, really well. But in terms of, having some consistency playing with Albert up there, just, building that chemistry, building that camaraderie, knowing kind of how we're both going to move on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, Leo and Christian involved as well, pressing going forward. So I think that's been a part of the game that's really improved over the last little bit of the season.
Brian, at one point, or a few points this year, has mentioned that one of the areas he wanted to see you improve at the number 9 is just being more selfish. Do you feel like that's something that you've gotten better at, and is that something that you had ever really took to heart?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that that's been something that people have wanted me to improve on, and obviously as the number 9, you have to pick and choose your moments to be selfish because it's your responsibility to score goals for the group. I don't know if I've ever necessarily felt like I've been a selfish player. I feel like I always try to kind of find the best option, and sometimes people maybe take that as being, not selfish, which is fair. But yeah, it's definitely an area of my game that I've been working on to improve, and I think a lot of that again stems from the consistency of playing up there, having those reps in training, and trying to kind of take it on my shoulders to be the one to try to put the ball in the back of the net, because as the number 9, obviously that's your job. So yeah, it's something I've taken to heart. It's something that I've been trying to work on over this year. I feel like I've been improving at it, but I don't think I'm ever going to be, a selfish player. I want to involve my teammates as well, and I think that my goal is always just try to find the best option. As long as the team scores, that's what I'm happy about. So.
In that game 3, created a lot of chances, but what do you guys need to do to make sure those chances turn into the goals in the back of the net?
Yeah, some games they go in, some games they don't. I think we created some good chances and weren't able to finish them. I think the positive is creating them, but in these moments, in these big games, I know it's been said before, but you might only get one opportunity and you got to put it in the back of the net. It's those small margins that make the difference, So against a really good team like LAFC, we might only get one chance to score, and then we got to all be prepared and be sharp in front of the net, because if that falls to us, that's massively important. So, it's just something to keep working on over the next week or so, and continue to be sharp in front of goal. But I think that stems from training, just really putting in the effort and the reps to know that when the opportunity falls to you, you're going to bury it.
And in terms of LAFC, obviously for the club, a draw up here, a loss down there this year, what do you take from those games as a team that you can take into next Sunday?
Yeah, both good games. I wasn't there for the game in LA, so I don't know as much about that. We obviously was watching from afar, but they're a really good team. Obviously have a ton of attacking talent. A lot of good defenders as well. Bouanga's obviously had the season he's had. He's been incredible. So for us, I think it's going to all be stemming on something that we've been really good at this year, which is our team defending, and we've been a tough team to break down. And I think that obviously all 11 guys on the field are going to need to do their part on the defensive side of the ball to shut down a team like this, because they're really, really good going forward. And then again, it's just taking your opportunities when they present themselves in front of goal. Potentially, who knows how they're going to play, but if they leave some space in the counter, we'll try to exploit that. And but it's going to be a battle. It's two good teams met in the playoffs before. We know what the rivalry means, so it's going to be a really fun one.
As an attacker, when you look at Bouanga, what does he do so well? What is problems is he going to give to your defense, just on the field?
I mean, he's so direct. Everything that he does, you talk about maybe being selfish. I wouldn't, his whole thought is about scoring goals. And yeah, as someone to look at and try to learn from, because his first thought, his first action when he gets the ball is, I'm going to take it towards goal, beat someone, and try to score. So he's so explosive. He has an incredible shot, incredible finish. I was with him at the All-Star game, and he did the skills challenge, and it was just like different level. He really is just an incredible finisher. So obviously we respect him, we respect what he brings, but I think we know that we can take, do our best to shut him down, hopefully, and that's going to be a big focus of our team defending, is trying to prevent him from having success. But obviously they have players elsewhere as well, so it's going to be a tough game. He brings a lot to the table. I think we have our obviously own attacking threats that we bring to the table. So again, it's going to be a fun one.
Did you get a chance to? Did you know him before or talk to him at all?
Bouanga?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know him before. Spoke to him a little bit at All-Star. Yeah, he seems like a very nice guy, but he's obviously had an incredible season.
You so from what I'm gathering, you feel that being able to be at the 9 and kind of settle into that is what broke your drought, or what do you think as far as the drought that you had in the turnaround as a player to score?
Like
you weren't scoring there for a minute there.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes that it's part of the game. There's going to be ups and downs. Obviously started off the season really well, and then middle of the season had not quite as many goals, but I think that's part of the game. You're going to have those ups and downs as a player, as a whether you're playing as number 9 or out wide, and but I think settling into one position, I think in that middle part of the season, again, bouncing around a little bit, not making excuses or anything like that, but bouncing around a little bit wasn't necessarily the easiest. But I think settling into one position, getting to work on those reps in training has been super helpful to try to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think once you score one, it gives you confidence to keep going. So hopefully we can put in a good shift next weekend, obviously.
You talked about the loss down in LA, how I believe Christian wasn't playing either, right? So how different does this team, with the way you've been lined up lately in the playoffs, look against LAFC? It doesn't even feel like it would be kind of like the same team. Almost.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're, obviously had some stretch of good results before that Dallas game. Was it maybe 10 unbeaten or something like that? So we've had a good stretch of results. The team, I think, building chemistry, coming together with having that starting lineup together, and then guys coming off the bench have done an incredible job as well. I think the strong suit of this team is just the group that we have. Obviously, it's the whole team that comes to training every day, that puts in the work, that so I think having the depth that we have, having the guys, whether you're starting or coming off the bench, knowing their roles and understanding their responsibilities and putting in great shifts. So it's a little bit maybe different look than it was in the middle of the season, but I think we're feeling confident with the group that we put out there and the guys that come off the bench. So I think this break is long. I think guys are just itching to play.
Yeah, you guys have kind of gotten used to these long breaks in between matches, especially once you hit playoffs. I know international break, you've been used to that, but this long of a stretch in between playoffs, what's your mental, what kind of like mentality do you have?
It's tough a little bit. Obviously you just want to play. That's the fun part. So for us, it's maybe getting a little bit of a physical break, getting, letting the legs rest a little bit because it's been a long season, but trying to stay sharp. I think it's just working on all the little things to stay sharp. You're not going to do anything drastically different at this point in the season. So just doing all the little things to stay sharp, to stay cohesive as a group, and just I think getting excited. You can feel the energy. It's just a different energy around the group. I think guys are just, again, itching to play and waiting for this break to be done.
Was LAFC the team that you wanted to play in the semis, like when you're looking at that matchup with them in Vancouver?
I mean, I think whoever we match up against, we're excited to play. We know both teams would have brought their own challenges. So, I don't think we were looking at the game rooting for one team or the other, but LAFC obviously came out of it and are going to provide a big challenge. So I think for us, we're obviously really happy to be able to host the game. That's a a big advantage. So we're excited to play in front of our fans again, and yeah, it's going to be exciting.
There was a lot of changes to the lineups over the last few months or so, but now 3 straight games where we've seen the consistency in the starting 11. How much has that helped you at the top of the formation, knowing that every game you have Leo, Christian, Albert right behind you?
Yeah, for sure. Kind of like I mentioned, I think that the camaraderie of the group is really high right now, and I think understanding each other's movements has been really important, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think our pressing has been really good it's as a group, but I think the pressing from those front 4 work together, and the pressing's been good, and I think a lot of that stems from the consistency and just continue to grow as a team together. So yeah, it's been good that front 4, but obviously whoever steps on the field, subs in the game, starts the game, knows the roles and responsibilities, like I mentioned, is ready to go.
You mentioned pressing, though. A team like LAFC that's also known for pressing some bit. So in terms of this game, do you imagine it will be that kind of a plan? Do you have to change up the way you guys play because it's LAFC at all?
No, I don't think so. We respect them. We respect what they bring. We know they're a really good team, but we're not going to change what we do for them. I think that we're at home. We need to come out on the front foot. We need to come out with intensity like we did in that 3rd game against Dallas. I thought we came out really well, had a couple corner kicks in the first couple minutes and just put the pressure on them, and we need to get the crowd involved in the game and let them know that it's going to be a battle. So no, we're not going to change how we play for them. It's about us and what we bring, and I think that all starts with our intensity, and a lot of that comes from our pressing. So
What about having Danny back here?
Yeah, it's great. We all love Danny. He's an awesome guy, a really good player. Obviously, hope you haven't got to catch up with him too much. Hope he had a great time in Colorado, but we're super happy to have him back. He's a great guy in the locker room, and we're fortunate to have him here.